I was the construction manager during the building process, and we were able to save somewhere around $250,000 on the construction cost. But a lot of people at that particular time, our membership, I believe, was right around 70 folks, I want to say. And when you take our cost, which was about $1.4 million, and divide that into 70, it's quite an undertaking. My church's experience as founding father, active member of the administrative team. I was a trustee at the beginning when we first started for about 2 years, and I chaired that. I was assistant leader for about 1 year, and then lay leader for 4 years out of the 10 years. So we've been very, very active in this church. I would say by far we've been the most active of any church that we've ever belonged to has been this church. It kind of lends yourself to try to be very active with the church, and that's one of the reasons why I think our membership here is so active in this church, and they have a real feeling and belief in the ministry of this church. And we all got a call from our Lord to be a part of this, and we're very happy to be a part of this church. Tish is going to just say a couple comments.
Well, Bill has covered most of our past history, except I would like to mention that when we were led to First Congregational Church, it was kind of interesting because I was working as a nurse at St. Mike's Hospital, and one of the other nurses who was a friend of mine, I was working PMs, and I asked her, I said, do you know any churches that would be nice to attend? And interestingly enough, she was a Catholic, and she said, oh, there's this wonderful church, it's called First Congregational Church in Wauwatosa, and she lived in Wauwatosa. She says, it's just the greatest church, and you'd absolutely love it. So that's how we became involved in First Congregational Church, and I mention that because Bill was a Catholic, and he came to the Congregational Church through me, and then she was actually a Catholic, and she led us to First Church, so I thought that was kind of interesting, and so that was kind of funny, and Bill has covered most of our past church history, except he did leave out our first church experience. In 1977, we went to an independent congregational church, which was in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and I spent some time as a Sunday school teacher for preschool and kindergarten students. It was a joyful time, and the church was a very old church with gorgeous stained glass windows. We also went to North Shore Congregational Church in Fox Point, Wisconsin, where I taught in preschool and kindergarten and functioned as a volunteer parish nurse also. We made a brief foray into the Methodist Church briefly, and that kind of ended up with us just staying at home Sunday morning and going, well, we don't really feel like we want to go to church at all. And finally I just said to Bill, I said, well, if we're not going to go to church, we might as well just go back to First Church, because if we're not going to go to church, then we really need to go somewhere. So we decided to go back to First Church, and that's how we met Lonnie, and everything unfolded into coming here. And we met Lonnie, and I think the most special thing about Fox River are the friendly and loving people we've met in this congregation. It's a place where I feel very welcome, and it has such an accepting atmosphere. No matter where you are in your spiritual journey, people are friendly and welcoming and loving and accepting. And the small group session I have joined has become very meaningful to me, and I want to thank those members of the prayer group for providing such a loving, welcoming, safe place to discuss my spiritual journey. Fox River is a place where people can grow in their faith and in their walk with Christ with freedom, and that's really what it's all about to me, is faith, freedom, and fellowship. And we really love this church, and it's been a wonderful place to be. So thank you very much.